class, my name is Danae Hall. Today is September 25th and we are doing the Voges Proskauer and Methyl red and Catalase testing lab. So here I have all of my materials for the lab. Alright, so I just sterilized both the active culture E. coli and the E. coli nutrient broth. Next step is to remove one of these pipettes from the alcohol and shake it dry. Now I'm going to take a small amount of the E. coli active culture up into the pipette and then drop it into the broth tube. I'm going to drop 4 drops. Now I'm going to put the pipette into bleach. Next step is to reflame the lip of the Voges Proskauer E. coli and then screw on the cap. Next I will flame the lip of the culture vial of E. coli. Next I'm going to do the same thing to the S. epidermis culture vial and broth. So I'm just going to flame the lip of both tubes first. Next I'm going to take my dry pipette that is sterilized and insert it into the culture vial of S. epidermis. And then I'm going to drop 4 drops into the Voges Proskauer broth. I'm going to put the pipette into undiluted bleach. Next I'm going to take the Voges Proskauer broth and flame the lip one more time and recap it. And I will do the same thing to the S. epidermis. So now I'm going to take the MRVP broth and pour about half of each tube into its corresponding test tubes. Now that all the tubes have approximately the same amount of broth in them, I cut open the methyl red reagent tube and I'm going to pour about 7 drops into one of the S. epidermis test tubes. Now I'll pour 7 drops into one of the E. coli test tubes. Alright, the next step is to do the Voges Proskauer test, and I will drop 12 drops of the Barrett's A reagent into the test tubes that don't have any reagents in them yet. Now I'm going to drop 4 drops of the Barrett's B reagent into those test tubes. Now I'm going to let those test tubes sit for about 30 minutes and then observe the color change. So these are the 2 test tubes after about 30 minutes, and neither one of them has a red layer forming at the top. Alright, now it is time for the Catalase testing part of the lab. So I'm going to remove one of the inoculation loops from the alcohol and shake it dry. Alright, now that the inoculation loop is dry, I'm just going to gather some E. coli cultures from the plate and then transfer them over to the E. coli slide. Now I'm going to add a drop of hydrogen peroxide right on top and watch for the formation of bubbles. It looks like bubbles are starting to appear. I'm going to do the same thing with S. epidermis, so I just first have to shake the inoculation loop dry. Now that the inoculation loop is dry, I'm just going to gather some S. epidermis cultures from this plate and transfer them onto the S. epidermis slide. Then I'm going to pipette 1 drop of hydrogen peroxide and watch for the formation of bubbles. Looks like that one is making bubbles a lot faster. Alright, so now I am done with that lab, so I just have to clean everything up and then return the plates to the incubation area.